Dale Valente Farm, home of the top standard-bred stallions in North America, including Hambletonian winner Trixton, Kentucky Futurity champion Six Pack, and global pacing sensation Lazarus.
He's a harness racing god.
Dale Valente Farm's outstanding broodmare portfolio includes two-time pacing filly of the year Worldly Beauty and Breeders' Crown champion Brigham Dream, dam of 2019 Swedish Sprint champion winner Taekwondo. Dale Valente Farm's premium breeding farm and syndicate management in Flemington, New Jersey.
Hello everyone, I'm Heather Vitale for Harness Racing Update. Welcome to another edition of Twos in Training, sponsored by Dale Valente Farms. When you hear the name Noel Daley, what horse comes to mind? Maybe it's the $3.5 million winner, Mr. Muscleman. Or perhaps it's a newer star like Anoka Hanover. My point is that year after year after year, there is sure to be a Noel Daley trainee making a big impression. So who is next on his list of superstars? We're going to try to find that out today as we visited his barn at Magical Acres in New Jersey. Noel, just when I think I know everything about everybody and their backstory, I find some gem on the internet. I had no idea when you were in Australia, you worked for Qantas Airlines?
Yeah, that was before I came over, 30 years ago now. So, yeah, I'd always did the horses part-time. I just worked for a guy and then jumped on a plane and come over with one and then end up being here. I came for 6 months and been here 32 years, I think, now. So, yeah.
That's how it always is. Everybody says, oh, I was going to come over for a few months. But wait a minute, what did you do for the airlines?
Just worked in when you went in there, ticket counter, whatever, So I was 19, 20 at the time. So, yeah, pretty cool job.
And you just started working with the horses, like there was a stable?
I bought a baby and then just started going to helping the guy out with the baby and then got addicted to him like you do. And then that's where I ended up. So
it's a good addiction, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So. All right, let's take a look at some daily digits, okay? How many horses you got in the barn overall, and then how many 2-year-olds?
I think there's 43 now. We were up to close to 50, which is too many for me now. We started with 24 babies. I think we got 22 or 21 there now. So mostly babies, We had when we were up around 50, we had some racehorses, and that just too much for us now. Getting the right staff and whatever. So that 35 number is probably even better still. So
Well, let's take a look at a couple familiar faces. I want to start with Mock and Hope. Of course, the defending blue chip matchmaker champion. Sure, he has like 7 starts this year. Last year, the year before that, and the year before that, it was anywhere from 26 starts to 30 starts. She is like the epitome of what I love about our standardbred breed, like durability and just gritty.
And she looks $1 million. She looks better than she ever did. She's a big, strong mare, got her own personality. She's actually been sweeter this year than other years because she can be a bit of a handful. But no, just a hard-knocking mare. Not the prettiest gated thing in the world. But she won the Blue Chip Matchmaker. Yonkers is not really her favourite track, but she'll hop and skip around a big track too. So when things work out her way, she's tough.
I plan on seeing a lot of her this year.
Yeah, the owners were debating whether to breed her or not. I think she's 7 now. This will definitely be a last year, and they'll breed her after that. So no, I think she's got nearly 700 made, so she's done a good job. So.
What about Pebble Beach? He had 11 starts last year, hit the board in every start, had a huge mile at Lexington. How's he coming along for 2022?
Yeah, he bled on me right at the end there in the Breeders' Crown. I think a few of those wicked miles caught up with him. He sort of got crucified the 1 week there, and he whacked out a world record mile. The horse that just camped along the rails there got out and beat him, but then he came back and went 48 again himself. But you know, I would like to race him off the pace a little more this year if we can. But he's wicked quick, that horse. You never know how they come back from 2 to 3. So far, so good. You know, I think we went 12 this morning with him. So, you know, he's a pretty exciting little horse.
And Anoka Hanover, of course, our Dan Patch Award winner as a 2-year-old. Last year, she comes back her first start, and she takes a track record at Philly, but then she's not really setting the world on fire the rest of the season.
She was lame for 6 months, took us forever, and just right at the end of the year, she started to come back around again. Got her qualified for the Breeders' Crown, and then she was a very good second on the Breeders' Crown. Touchwood, so we gave her out. I talked them into the rest of the partners into bringing her back again because she's got a big motor on her, that mare, and great attitude about everything. So Touchwood, so far she's this year she was in that training set there with Pebble Beach. She's been 12 and been really sound. So let's hope, you know, she'll match it with all of them if she's sound. So.
All right, it is Tuesday training, so let's get to our freshman here. You're kind of known as a trotting man, had a lot of really great trotters, a Hamiltonian winner, in fact. So we're going to actually start with the trotters. Ladies first, let's check out WALNESSA. This is a Walner out of Alaraj Star. And Walner, hot, you know?
Yeah, well, she was a shock that I got her. Loved the video. She's a massive filly, a very big filly. Loved the video, went and looked at her, loved her, didn't imagine I'd get her. You know, we always have a budget, and it's, you know, I think last year was the first time in probably a decade that we gave more than 6 figures for one. Anyhow, I don't know for what reason, but she got knocked down to me for 50, which shocked me, and I would have been happy enough to keep all of her at that. But the breeders, by the time I'd walked out of the I had a message, could they buy back in? So they bought back in for a piece, and a couple of my other owners that have been with me for a while. So I still own a good piece of her. But I say big filly, I've been in no hurry with her. Got a great attitude in that. You know, can be a little grabby and whatever. I plan. I probably will skip the first New Jersey Sire Stakes. I think the second leg of the kindergarten is right around August 4 or August 5, and that's where I'll start her out. I've got her staked to everything later on, so, you know, with the big filly, you sort of got to, you know, hold your breath. They stay sound. So far, she's been good. So.
What about Pride and Joy and EL Titan, $55,000 from Harrisburg?
She could actually be a surprise package. She's got a lot of go. The only other time she's made a break, she makes a break for me. Never makes a break when Nico drives her, so he usually drives her. But, you know, Nico thinks she's the best of the ones that we've got, and last year he was right. He picked Palomo early, and she did the best of the trotting fillies. So, no, nice filly. So, we're very happy, actually. The breeder of her is a good friend of mine, Marty Alasapala, so we're glad we got her. You know, I own a little piece of her too, so, you know.
We've got another trotting filly to talk about, Rosita. Now, she was a $47,000 Lexington purchase, a bar hopping.
Yeah, didn't have the deepest of families. Again, had a great video. She's the sweetest filly, got a great gait, and for a trotting filly, very agreeable to do anything with, you know. So, you know, I'd be shocked if she doesn't make good money. Just, you know, I don't know if she'll be the best of them, but she's got plenty of go, and she's got a really good head on her. So.
Let's switch to the boys. I've got Mystic Muscle down on my list, a Muscle Hill. Seems like a staple. Whenever I do these Tuesday training, if we talk about a trotter, there's always a Muscle Hill.
Well, you know, now with Walner and a few of the other ones around, you know, now we get a chance to buy a Muscle Hill because usually they're too dear for us. He's actually, well, his full brother won the Hamiltonian. He's only a little fella, and he's 12th or 13th foal out of the mare. So that's probably why we got him for what we did.
Yeah, can I just say something about that? That's right. This is a spellbound Hanover.
Yeah.
I mean, she was born in 1998. I was like, wow. So she's 24. I've dated guys that are younger than this mare, okay? So when you saw that, it's a spellbound. I know Maria Marauder, that's the Hamiltonian winner. Right. Well, I mean, what do you think when you see that she's had a lot of babies and she's older?
Well, a lot of them, you know, but the older mares, sometimes the foals, they look like they're from older mares. He didn't. He was small, but it's not a big family. She wasn't big. and he had he had a lot of personality and good way of going and everything. He's he's got enough personality there to be a decent horse. Now, he's got a great gait and everything. I really like him. Again, we don't deal in usually 6-figure yearlings, so we've got to take the 13th foal rather than the 3rd foal. You take a shot with horses like that. But he had a great video and a good way of going, so I think we'll be all right with him.
I love that. So Mystic Muscle, keep your eye on that one. All right, Volume 8. Now, this is a name change. The horse's original name's Give Him a Rope. It's a Chapter 7, a $70,000 Harrisburg purchase, and actually the first foal.
Yeah, and one of Bob Key's family. So, again, great video. Not the biggest horse in the world either. It's very much a Keys bred, You had to look and see who was the sire, the grandsire, and that. It was a lot of odd maternal line there, but all good race mares. But they're not. It's not a page that a lot of the breeders will jump out. So I think that's the reason we got him for what we did, because he had the Chapter 7s. They're very desirable, and he had a super video. But if he had the page to match, well, then we wouldn't be able to afford him. So happy to have him, and he's been good. He's been good for us.
We'll talk about Chapter 7. We have another Chapter 7 here, 7 Sins. Now, this is the 6-digit one here from Lexington, $120,000, and also a first foal.
Right, yeah, and he's got a lot of personality to him too. He's very powerful, and he might be as good as any of the ones we've got. Occasionally he can switch to a pace on you, like he gets a little excited, but nice horse, and plenty of speed, plenty of go to him. So.
All right. Now we're going to switch over to the pacers. We'll start with ladies first on our list. Miss Lady Dio, Captain Treacherous. This is a homebred.
Right, and I think again the mother was an older mare. The farm decided, because she was an older mare, they wanted to keep one of the babies to breed from, one of the fillies. She had a lot of bumps and bruises all over her legs, sort of thing. So she probably wouldn't have been a sail topper going through. Very good attitude, good gait. June foal, I believe, on the smaller side, so I won't try and have her ready really early, but loves what she does, and it's been a very good family.
Yeah. I was going to say the mom, Liz June, I love the nightlife. Right. Also, De Los Cielos Dio. Yes.
Say that one. Yes, well that's well, yeah, right. So
talk about Dio Valente Farms, so that's one of their mares. Yeah.
And so that's why they kept her, because the mare was old, so they didn't put her through a sale. And I like her a lot. She's got a lot of personality and a lot of very smart mare. Very smart.
All right, pacing colts now. The Good Doctor. Let's talk about him. A $47,000 Lexington purchase.
Yeah, and I think they got a little lucky there in the book, the sale book. They didn't mention that he was dual eligible, and so that probably cost the breeder, who's a good friend of mine, Dr. Andy Roberts. We actually had the mother of this horse. I raced her for a year for Andy Roberts. She had speed, whatever, didn't have the greatest desire in the world, but he's a very nice colt, and he loves what he does, and I like him a lot.
Okay. And finally, we have a Devilish Dreams, a Lazarus. So this is the first crop from Lazarus. Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, I ended up with 3 of them, and again, I wasn't sure. There hasn't been a great siring son of Better Delight. I think Better Delight's one of the great sires of all time, but so far his sons haven't really stepped it up, so it's a little dubious. But it basically, Lazarus gets a free pass this year, because I think he's the only really commercial sire in New Jersey. So this filly, I had some clients who wanted a colt and a filly, and this filly, I really liked her. Got her out of Kentuckiana. And she's had good family to her too. She's a Western Hanover family. A little bit of a witch to break in, but I like her a lot. I'd be surprised if there's many Jersey breds that'll beat her. And she's got the dual. She's also got Kentucky as well. So we've got a lot of options there with her. But so far, it's funny. My 2 Lazarus colts on our geldings. They weren't the greatest gaited in the world. And she took a little bit, but now she's really nice, and she's got a lot of power to her.
All right, we talked about 9 2-year-olds, and you actually mentioned you started out with a couple more that are in training now. So when do you get to that point where it's like, maybe this isn't really the year for them to be going behind the gate? At what point do you decide that and let them, have another year to develop?
I've made a mistake a few times. This year, ones that didn't quite make it last year, gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I've just spent 3 or 4 months getting them back ready, and they're still not very good. So there's some of the racehorses that I've gotten rid of. If they've got some, if they show something, got some problems, I've got 2 actually laid up at the moment. I've got a really nice Conway filly who had an issue and had to have a screw put in her foot, and another Cantab colt that kicked the wall or whatever. So. If they don't show something naturally, I've worked out over the years not to stake them real early because I'm just never seem to have them ready early. We just take it as it comes, like some of the better, My Little Dragon didn't start till September, All Speed Hanover, Explosive Matter, they didn't start till September or October, and they've still, made their money. So there's so much racing now and no big hurry, when they race. They can't be in everything. It's hard for them to go the whole season, so.
Okay, all right. Last question. We're in Jersey, and it is beautiful today, and the weather has been nice, but Florida is obviously warmer. So do you ever think, maybe I want to take the stable down south for the winter?
I did that for about 8 years, and I did enjoy doing that. A bit hard, my son's at school. It's a bit hard if you've got school-age kids, So, Florida was great. I don't think it made a lot of difference to the horses, I'll be honest with you, but we really enjoyed it. So, I think you either do it before you have the kids or you do it later on, so.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Well, topping off this interview with some advice about parenting from Noel Daley. You get a little bit of everything here in the barn. Thank you, Noel, so much for being on Twos in Training.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again to Noel for spending time with us today, and a huge thank you to our sponsor, DEVILISH Farms. Please check out harnessracingupdate.com to get your free HRU newsletter. Thanks again for joining me. I had a great time. I'm Heather Vitale for Harness Racing Update.
DeVililsh Farm, home of the top standard-bred stallions in North America, including Hambletonian winner Trixton, Kentucky Futurity champion Six Pack, and global pacing sensation Lazarus.
He's a harness racing god.
DeVililsh Farm's outstanding broodmare portfolio includes 2-time pacing filly of the year Worldly Beauty and Breeders' Crown champion Brigham Dream, dam of 2019 Swedish Sprint champion winner Taekwondo. DeVililsh Farm's premium breeding farm and syndicate management in Flemington, New Jersey.